Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about 4-day homeschool schedules and why we use one and how to schedule one. So, first of all, why we use a 4-day homeschool schedule is because whenever we started first grade, My Father's World, they scheduled theirs as 4-day homeschool weeks. The fifth day was scheduled, but it was for like nature walks. So that day was counted towards your school schedule, but it was a nature day. So they were outdoors and it didn't feel like you really were doing school. So we have kind of stuck to that model. Even after we stopped doing My Father's World after second grade, we have stuck to the 4-day model. It's just worked really well for our family. And I mean, it keeps me sane. It keeps the kids sane throughout the week. We have something to look forward to. At the end of the week, if we're having a really tough week, we're like, if we can just make it to that day off. Now, okay, we usually take off Friday. Just makes more sense. We have a 3-day weekend. It's great. But whenever it comes to payday, we get paid on Thursdays. So every other week, that's when we run our errands. We go out on Thursdays, and we're usually out all day, so we just take that day completely off. So on the days, every other week it's Thursday, and then the other weeks it is Friday. So that's just kind of how we have set up a 4-day schedule in our school. So some things that we use the 4th day for, like I said, is running errands. I've previously had a cleaning day on Fridays or our days off. So we do that. They can be used for like meal prepping, if you do meal prepping, whatever else, errands, field trips, nature walks. Like I said, My Father's World does nature walks and nature days. Field trips, that's a good time to take off, go to the zoo, go wherever you might go on a field trip. Science center, wherever. And it can also be for catching up, which is not the most fun thing to do. We don't necessarily want to spend that day off catching up all day, but it gives you a good day. Say you didn't finish all your schoolwork throughout the week, you can use that week to catch up. Okay, so, I mean, you can use that day for anything. You can even just have a lazy day and lay at home and watch movies all day. Just whatever you want to do. So, there are a lot of curriculums that can work with a 4-day schedule. There are some curriculums like My Father's World that are laid out to go with a 4-day schedule, because there are a lot of homeschoolers that do a 4-day schedule. I know there are people who do a 3-day schedule as well, and they make it work. And you can always make whatever curriculum you're using work with a 4-day schedule. Yeah, sometimes, I mean, it'll take a little bit of tweaking if it's not set up that way, but it's really not that hard. I've done it before. So, some of the curriculums, My Father's World, Heart of Dakota, Sassafras Science Adventures, that's something we've used before. A Gentle Feast works really well with 4-day schedule. They have 4-day and 5-day scheduling options. And also the Good and the Beautiful. We used Good and Beautiful for language arts. And I believe 5th grade, the level 5, or 6th grade, sorry, I don't know. Their levels fall. We're using level 5 for 6th grade. So their levels fall different for everyone, whatever your kid tests into. Anyway, so that is set up to where if you do 1 lesson a day, 4 days a week, you'll complete the book in a school year. So that works perfectly with us because we already do the 4-day schedule. Now for our math, we use Easy Peasy, and they are set up for your traditional 5 days a week, 180 days a school year. So how we get past that is I do schedule, and I have a little paper here, and I'll try to let you guys see that in a second. I do schedule our math on Friday. Now, the way that we've been able to do it so far, I know it won't always work out this way because, I mean, the beginning of the year, most of the time is a lot of review and things that they know. So we do try to double up on math. So if they have an easy lesson, then maybe we'll do 2 lessons instead of 1 lesson. So wherever there's a simple, easy lesson throughout the week, we double up to get that 5th day in. Let me see if I can show you. So there's our Friday. And this isn't completely filled out. This is for actually week 1, I think, of term 2. Or maybe term 3. That's term 3, I believe. Anyway, so as you can see, Fridays are not scheduled except for math. I will have math listed, and that is it. And Monday through Wednesday, I have everything scheduled. Well, not on this one, but everything else will be scheduled and filled out. So, basically, language arts, geography, grammar, everything that comes in the good and the beautiful will be done 4 days a week. And then Bible, of course, we do Bible every day. Let's see. History, we were only doing it 2-3 days a week. I was doing it 2 days for my older kids and then rotating 2 days for my younger one. He's in 3rd grade. But recently we made a little switch on our math or on our history that we were doing, because the history that we chose just really wasn't very, it wasn't in the living book style that I thought it was going to be, and I really wanted it to be that way. My kids really enjoy doing history that way, and so this was set up in more of like a textbook-ish way. So anyway, we decided that we would finish. We had Story of the World, I think it's volume 3, and we just started right in the time period that we were at. I believe the last story we read in our Christian Liberty Press book was on William Penn, and so we found William Penn in the Story of the World volume 3, and we started from there. And we're trying to read through, once we get to the American Revolution, I have some really cool books that we're going to use, and we're going to dive into the American Revolution for a little bit, and then we'll go back into the Story of the World. So that's what we're doing for history. So for now, it's probably more like 3 to 4 days a week, and now I'm combining all of my kids together instead of trying to do separate stuff with them, which does make it a lot easier. So for science, we are doing science 1 day a week. We are doing foreign language 1 day a week. We do typing. We do foreign language sometimes gets done more than once a week, but and we've been doing Duolingo and a lot of different like online games and things like that for foreign language. So nothing super formal, but we often do that more than once a week. So then all of our extras like that, foreign language, typing, now I'm drawing a blank. Science becomes only 1 day a week. It's a longer period of a chunk that we do it in because trying to fit a week's worth of science basically in 1 day can be a little bit difficult. So it's a longer drawn out thing, but my kids really enjoy it, so it doesn't really bother us. There have been times where we have done it on Fridays, and that doesn't seem to be an issue either because most of the time there's a really fun experiment and the kids really enjoy it, so they don't really feel like they're doing school anyway. So art, any of those things that are just your little extra things, we do once a week, and we just rotate them throughout the week. Sometimes we have to double up on the smaller subjects, and that's fine. So again, I'll show you. These are my planning pages from momlifehomeschoollife.com. These are free. The Charlotte Mason Homeschool Planner, the free version. This is what the weekly plans look like. Here you put, this is week, I have divided weeks 1 through 12. And then you write your term over here. So it goes 1 through 12 for term 1, and then you start back on week 1 when you get to term 2, and then the same thing for term 3. So you should have 3 12-week terms. So anyway, the reason that I didn't just do a 4-block thing here is because I do know that some people like to do 5-day school weeks. And leaving this also gives us an extra day to schedule field trip, or I can write that down in this column, or I can write down, if we want to do our science experiment that day, or some painting, or nature walking, or whatever we want to do. So, as I said before, it's pretty easy to tweak your curriculum. Spelling can be sometimes a harder one to tweak because, as most of you know, spelling sometimes requires, every single day of the week to be doing a lesson. You might be able to tweak your spelling curriculum a little bit to get it to fit into that 4-day schedule, just depending on what you're using. I know All About Spelling works really well with a 4-day schedule. And another option would be maybe to do like more of a Charlotte Mason style approach to spelling, like get dictation, copy work, things like that. We do dictation right now, and that works well with a 4-day week. We were using sequential spelling. We used that last year. We didn't finish quite the whole book because we were sticking to a 4-day schedule, but that's fine. And we don't tend to worry or fuss about finishing the entire book as long as I feel like our children have accomplished what they need to accomplish for the year and met all the goals that I've set for them or whatever. So I know a lot of things. One question I got a lot is, will the 4-day homeschool schedule extend my school year? And I've said no to this. And that kind of confuses people a little bit because the normal school year is 36 weeks or 180 days. And we range our school years from like 34, 36. I know My Father's World does like 34 weeks, I believe. So our state does not require a certain amount of days, and they do not require a certain amount of weeks or hours or anything like that. So for us, we could just do the 4 days a week if we wanted to for 36 weeks, and we would be fine. 5 days a week for 36 weeks will get you your 180 days for school. So with that being said, if you do need a certain amount of hours, you need a certain amount of weeks, say you need 180 days for your school year, and that's your state's requirement, you can still model your schedule as a 4-day and just do light things, as I mentioned before, on Friday. Maybe your field trip days, which can also count for school. Maybe your nature walk days, and those can also count as school. So just think of, if you do need that many days, putting those light things on Friday. And so that way, yes, you can still get in your school hours, or you can still get in your extra day there, but it's not going to feel like you're actually having a 5th school day. So if you look on my blog, momlifehomeschoollife.com, I have a blog post, 4-day homeschool schedules, about 4-day homeschool schedules, and I will link that below. In that, I go deeper into showing you what a 4-day example of a 4-day schedule. There's also the links to the curriculums that I mentioned before, maybe a few other options there. And I gave you links to the Charlotte Mason Homeschool Planner that I was talking about, and some other free homeschool planners that would work good with a 4-day schedule. So again, if you want to check that out, that's momlifehomeschoollife.com, and I will leave that link below to the exact blog post so you can find it. So thanks for watching this video.